All right, y'all, what's going on? It's your boy Shawn Brooks, creative director at Brooks Media. Now, in my last video, we discussed that Canon was pretty much out here flexing his muscle, showing his gun, showing his prowess to let you know we top dog here. And then you got the A7S III coming out. But for some odd reason, in the midst of those conversations, because everything is just full frame now, I felt like the Micro Four Thirds system in the Gh6 specifically is not being talked about as much. So for me to continue using Micro Four Thirds in this world that's filled with full frame sensors, this is what the Gh6 needs to have for me to stay with Micro Four Thirds. Let's talk about it. All right, y'all, welcome back to the channel. If you're new to my channel, I give experiences and advice on being an entrepreneur as a videographer. I also give advice on photos. I'm actually gonna start creating presets for you guys to give away for free. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe now. And also tell me what you want the Gh6 to have to take your money. So start with me. The first thing the Gh6 needs to have, this is a bare bone necessity at this point. I need at least, give me first generation phase detect autofocus. Now, listen, as somebody who uses a Gh5 religiously and who's using a Gh5 now with autofocus, it's locked by the way, I need that, okay? It's just, you know, and granted I'm able to make it work with my Gh5, but again, I've been using my Gh5 for quite a while now, so I know how to go ahead, I know how to flex my muscle with my camera, because I know my camera in and out, for the most part. But after talking to my boy Lover Tech, make sure you check out his channel. We kind of feel that if the Gh6 doesn't have phase detect autofocus this year, and we all know contrast-based autofocus is not that good. I mean, it's not like Panasonic, you don't hear it. You know what I mean? Like, I know you see the tweets. I put out tweets to y'all. I know y'all see the need for phase detect autofocus in y'all cameras. Spending a lot. So why is it, you know, so if you guys are not able to deliver it to us this year, then to me it's gonna kind of be like, well, maybe that's just like a Sony, or it's just like every other camera thing. Like maybe, you know, just like how Canon and Panasonic are the only two companies that for the most part can use a fully articulating screen. Maybe there's some other type of legal jargon that we're not aware of in which Panasonic just can't use phase detect. I just don't see why they would consistently year after year continue to use a autofocus system that's not good. You know what I mean? Like if the S1H, you know what I'm saying? And one of my favorite shooters of all time, Brandon Lee, he even said if the S1H had phase detect autofocus, that would be the perfect camera. Even, and I would even make the argument that S1H would even be better than the Canon 1DX Mark III, you know what I'm saying? Just from a usability standpoint. But Panasonic has to implement some type of like phase detection autofocus. Contrast based just ain't it, baby. Let it go. Let it go. The next thing I need the Gh6 to have, and this is kind of like a, you know, if I get it, you know what I'm saying, cool. But if I don't, well, it's a wish list, so I need it. Let me get it. Let me go ahead and get it out of you, Panasonic. Let me get 120 frames per second with audio and with autofocus. Okay, that's very important because currently, right now, the Gh5 does have, you can go up to 180 frames per second. But once you start hitting those variable frame rates, you lose autofocus and you lose audio. I don't want to lose audio, specifically at 120 frames per second. Mainly because it's like, I want to have that ability to be able to slow it down. Just like Sony users, they have the ability to use 120 frames per second with audio. So if they really want to use something else, if they wanted to use that footage just straight for 24p, they could, because they still have the audio. Versus me, I don't. I lose that whole functionality. No more audio, scratched out. Now, since you're talking about variable frame rates, I'm gonna pull the sleeve off of this. Panasonic, listen, if you can, baby, just if you can. I'm not pulling teeth right now. If you can, let me get 4K 90. Now, according to the rumors, the new Panasonic is gonna have a 41 megapixel sensor and it's gonna be able to shoot 8K footage. Now, I'm gonna be real with you, I don't really need 8K. But if you can deliver 4K 90 and a sensor like that size, whoo, it's gonna look good. It's gonna look good. Now, here's the thing. If from that 8K, you're down sampling to a 4K image, I'm with that. If you're telling me that the 8K sensor that you're gonna have in the Panasonic Gh6 is gonna be downscaling to a 4K image, I'll take that hands down. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna take that. You know what I mean? With 4K 90, stuff like that, I'll take that for real. Panasonic, if you could deliver on that, baby, you got my money. I mean, I have no reason to leave the Micro Four Thirds system, to be honest. I really don't. I just don't. The next thing I would like for the Gh5 to have, and I'm gonna be real with y'all, I understand physics and I understand science and just the capability of certain sensor sizes. So what I'm asking for here actually can be done. The point of me putting this wish list together is for me to ask for things that can be done. Hopefully, you know, it comes across Panasonic desk and I'm like, that's something we can actually do. Well, more than likely the camera's already in development, so probably not. But nonetheless, If you guys can give me GH5S low light, I'll take that. I don't even need Sony's low light, because Sony low light, and hell, even the Panasonic S1H or the Panasonic S1 lineup low light is really, really good. I'm not asking for nothing on Micro Four Thirds sensor. I understand that the camera, that sensor size is gonna have certain limitabilities. I understand that sensor size is gonna have certain limitations that you guys just can't get around. But I do know that the GH5S in low light is better than the GH5. You can just go ahead and give me that low light, just, you know what I'm saying, slightly improved, maybe, you know what I'm saying, cleaner ISO levels, maybe even a dual native ISO. I'm pushing, I know. But if you can give me just GH5S low light, I can take that. I can deal with that. I can really deal with that versus now. You know what I'm saying? I make it work, but come on now. Help me out. Now this to me, this is going on the wish list, but it's not like a huge thing. But it's not a huge thing because I just know they're gonna do it. But just make sure the Gh6 has pass-through charging, please. I wanna be able to charge, I wanna be able to use my Gh5 while I have like a power bank plugged into it. Cause this little dummy battery I got, it works, it's cool, but I just don't like it. I don't. I'd rather just be able to charge, especially if I have a gimbal. I'd rather be able to charge my camera through my gimbal and things of that nature. So, Panasonic, happy boy out. Now, the last thing I need from the Panasonic Gh6, again, which is very doable. Again, this wish list was for very doable items. I need a better resolution screen on the back of this camera, like the articulated screen. Give me the Panasonic S1H articulated screen on the Gh6. That screen there, I can clearly see everything. I know when I'm in focus, everything. The Gh5 has a good screen. It's definitely better than the Sony screen for sure, and it's touchscreen, so let's not forget that. Sony A7 III, yours is not, I just don't know why. But the screen could definitely use an improvement, because there's definitely times where it's a little bit too dim, a little bit too dusty looking sometimes, a little bit faded. It's just, it doesn't work too well, you know what I mean? So if you give me a Panasonic S1H screen, I'm game. With that being said, man, what is something that you wish or that you want your next camera purchase to have? Because right now, even though I want the A7S III, I'm really considering just waiting to see what the Gh6 is gonna do, or to see if the Panasonic S1 lineup cameras are gonna drop in price some more. I really feel that the S1H is gonna drop. So if anything, if the S1H drops at least to like 3 bands, I can do that. The reason why I'm gonna stick with the Gh6 though is because one, I already have glass to go with that camera. I already have a battery, you know what I mean? Like I have things that's gonna make that camera work already versus buying into a whole new ecosystem. So this is kind of why when the A7S III comes out, that I'm not jumping on the first camera purchase. I feel like Panasonic has not given up on Micro Four Thirds. They're still making lenses for it. And honestly, it's like, you know, despite the whole crop sensor argument, this image still looks good. You know what I mean? You would never sit there and watch a video and be like, man, you know what? Should have been on full frame. It just doesn't happen. So for the Gh6 to be successful, those are the things I feel that it needs to have. But I would still like to know you guys' thoughts and opinions about it. So go ahead and comment down below. Again, thank y'all for watching. It's your boy Shawn B. Deuces.